As of right now, it looks almost certain that Will Levis is going to be a first-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft. There's a solid chance he's taken inside the top 15, maybe even inside the top 10. With Levis mocked so high in so many mock drafts, why does the consensus seem to be that nobody wants him? There doesn't seem to be a more polarizing quarterback in this year's class than Will Levis. There are many scouts and experts who believe he can have a lengthy and successful NFL career, while many also expect him to be a total bust. So why exactly are so many people split on this quarterback prospect? Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. I'm posting college football videos all off season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. Although Levis might be a top 10 pick, he wasn't projected to be a superstar at the collegiate level. He wasn't even a 4 or 5-star quarterback recruit and wasn't being flooded with FBS offers. Levis was overlooked until Penn State lost out on Justin Fields and offered Levis a scholarship. Up until that point though, it was only Mid-American Conference schools that were showing the most interest. Here's what a coach at Levis's high school had to say about him going unnoticed. "We were all frustrated and scratching our heads because we thought one thing about him and were saying, why doesn't anyone else see this? What are we missing? The spring before his senior year, we had tons of colleges on campus checking him out, but he couldn't get a bite. Sometimes there's that stigma that players from the Northeast get, that we don't play football up here the way they do down south or in Texas or in California, and this guy can't be that good." Well, actually, he can be that good. During his senior season of high school, Levis earned second-team Walter Camp All-Connecticut honors. He was selected to the Connecticut High School Coaches Association Top 25 list. He was also named the Hartford Courant's Offensive Player of the Year. Levis broke Xavier High School records for passing yards, passing touchdowns, and completions in a single season. He attended a camp at Florida State the summer before his senior season of high school and began to turn heads after he received a scholarship offer from then Florida State head coach Jimbo Fisher. Levis attended a camp at Penn State soon after that, and the Nittany Lions were looking for a quarterback following Justin Fields' decommitment. Levis ended up at Penn State, where he redshirted his first season in 2018. In 2019, Levis saw the field, but he was used more as a runner than as a passer. He attempted only 57 passes with 51 rushing attempts. For the season, he totaled over 400 yards with 5 total touchdowns. The same thing happened once again in 2020. Levis attempted only 55 passes while running the ball 82 times. He still ended up with a solid season as he finished with more than 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. But in his 3 seasons with the Nittany Lions, he hadn't been given a true opportunity to be a starting quarterback. He was just used as a gadget kind of player. That offseason, Levis personally informed Penn State coach James Franklin that he planned to transfer. Although Levis was putting his name in the transfer portal, he didn't quite have the resume that would have schools blowing up his phone. He didn't really have much film through his first 3 seasons at Penn State and was still considered to be a pretty raw quarterback. Levis said that he heard from Rutgers, UConn, and UMass, and a few other smaller schools. But he said the issue was that none of these schools saw what he was capable of doing when it came to throwing the ball. They only knew what kind of a runner he was. But Kentucky was looking for a quarterback. Mark Stoops had just hired Liam Cohen as his offensive coordinator. Cohen was the assistant quarterbacks coach with the Rams, but he had seen Levis play in high school when Cohen was coaching at UMass. Even with that strong familiarity, Stoops said they had to dig through Levis's tape at Penn State to find plays where he was making different throws. "We knew we had to go get him, but because of the way he was utilized at Penn State, you really had to search for certain throws. There was the Nebraska game from the year before, throws we watched and saw and confirmed what we thought. It also helped that Liam knew him from high school." Levis transferred to a Kentucky team that was coming off a season with mediocre quarterback play. Terry Wilson saw most of the action, but only threw for 1,200 yards with 7 passing touchdowns. Levis battled during camp and was named the Wildcats starting quarterback for the 2021 season. he made an immediate impression as he was named one of 8 team captains and helped lead Kentucky to 10 wins for only the 4th time in school history. He exceeded any expectations he had as he put together one of the better seasons by a quarterback in the entire SEC conference. He finished the 2021 season with nearly 3,000 yards on a 66% completion percentage. He had 24 passing touchdowns while also adding over 400 yards on the ground with 9 rushing scores. He finished the year 7th in the conference in total yards and 4th in the conference in total touchdowns. Entering the 2022 campaign, Levis was starting to generate a lot of buzz. He put up great numbers for a Kentucky team that was coming off one of their more successful seasons in program history. There were also a lot of reasons to be excited by Levis, as many believed he had the perfect size and arm strength to be an NFL caliber quarterback one day. Rich Scangarello, who was an offensive coordinator at Kentucky, had some pretty high praise for Levis. Will is as talented as anyone I've evaluated the last 5 years. The only 2 guys I would compare him to, where you could see it clearly, would be Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. I think he could be the first overall pick in the draft. One NFL personnel director who scouted Levis extensively told ESPN he sees a lot of Josh Allen in Levis in terms of arm strength, athletic ability, and physical size. He just needs to continue to work on his pocket poise, his timing, and his accuracy under pressure, but he's one of the more intriguing quarterback prospects in this class. Josh Allen had some inconsistencies with accuracy and timing as well, but we've seen how that's played out. As Levis gets more comfortable and better rhythm in this scheme, I feel like he will be playing even better football at the end of the season than what he's putting on tape right now. He has all the physical traits and a lot of upside. With all of the hype surrounding Levis in Kentucky, things weren't great in 2022, mostly in the second half of the season. His numbers took a massive hit all across the board. The Wildcats, who won their first 4 games and were ranked inside the top 10, went 3-6 to close out their 2022 season. Levis threw for only 2,200 yards with 17 passing touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He struggled behind an awful offensive line, dealt with a number of injuries, and his running game was completely wiped out. Here are some of the tweets following his performance against Tennessee in the middle of the season, a game in which he threw 3 interceptions and didn't even surpass 100 yards through the air. I just don't see the hype surrounding Will Levis. Some project him as the top quarterback taken. Will Levis is going to get an NFL GM fired. Will Levis is the most unimpressive top quarterback I've ever seen. There's not even a glimpse of greatness. Is there anybody else that I'm missing? Things were rough a few weeks later as Levis had another awful showing, this time coming against Vanderbilt, where he completed only 11 passes for 100 yards and didn't even throw a touchdown. Some NFL team is going to talk itself into using a first-round pick on Will Levis, and boy, is that going to be a mistake. Me packing up my things and getting off the Will Levis train. Gosh, that was ugly. Will Levis should shut it down the rest of the season. There have been a lot of back and forth discussions all offseason in regards to Levis. Many people believe he's worth taking a gamble on in the first round due to his size, his arm strength, and his potential. There are also a lot of people on the side that he isn't even worth a first-round pick. Here's what Kentucky head coach Mark Stoops had to say about Levis. A guy like that makes everybody better. He elevates your program. The belief is there. The confidence is there every time he takes a snap, every time he drops back to throw. I get a chance to see him every day. I stand behind him, and you know how it can get here. It could be nasty, cold, rainy, windy, whatever, and it doesn't matter. This guy just absolutely rips the ball. I mean, he throws the shit out of it. Speaking of throwing the shit out of the ball, Levis recently told Pro Football Focus he believes he can throw a football 80 yards in the air. The longest recorded throw in an NFL game was a 2020 Baker Mayfield pass that went 70 yards in the air. When it comes to arm strength, combined with the ability to get the ball out quickly and do so without much room to throw, Tim Couch, the greatest quarterback in Kentucky history and former #1 overall pick, thinks Levis is in a class all by himself. I watched him up close this summer, and you just don't see that kind of accuracy and velocity. If there's a stronger arm in college football, I want to see it. He's going to blow the scouts away. He's athletic, tough, a great leader, and has all the intangibles you look for in a quarterback. When looking at mock drafts, there was just a mock draft that had the Vikings trading into the top 10 to select Levis. However, there was also a mock draft that had him going at 19. It looks like a guarantee Will Levis is going to be a first-round pick, but as of right now, nobody has any idea where he'll be going. It seems like he could go as high as number 3, but it also seems like he could fall into the 20s. Personally, if I was a team that needed a quarterback, I would take a chance on him, especially if you have a starting quarterback ahead of him where Levis can sit for a season or two. He's already built like an NFL quarterback, something you just can't teach. and I think a team takes a gamble on him. So what are your thoughts on Will Levis? Do you think he's worthy of being a top 10 pick, or does this disaster of a season in 2022 scare you away? If your team needs a quarterback in this draft, let me know in the comment section if you'd use your draft pick on him. Before you leave, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you love college football, this is definitely the place for you. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm posting college football videos all off season, so make sure to subscribe if you call yourself a college football fan. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.